Hello, hello. Old Dad here. And the standout for the night was not Braun Strowman or Zelina Vega, though their matches were great. My standout for the night is a surprise. I was surprised anyway. And I'm going to say it right here at the start. It was Naomi. Naomi just stood out to me. But let's go ahead and get into this, and I'll give you the scoop of all of it. Cypher believes it's going to be Zelina Vega because she's going after the U.S. title. Old Dad here thinks that it's going to be Braun Strowman because they've been building him up as a beast again. They've been building him up as the monster among men. So he's going up against Jacob Fatu. Last time he got destroyed. I think this time here, he's really going to shine out. I think this time here, Braun Strowman is going to... He's going to finally get put back up as the monster. Let's see what happens. But before we do that, I just want to say, Liv Morgan and Jade Cargill, that's going to be good. Liv Morgan, they're not going to just make her take a loss. They're not just going to make her look weak. And Jade Cargill, she's building up. She's building up to her match against Naomi and things like that. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to be fun to see. I got a feeling Jade's going to win, but we don't know. Let's check this out. Randy Orton came out. They were singing his music louder than the music was playing. That's how much they were singing his music. It was all over the place. I loved it. Old Dad loved it. And then on top of that, Kevin Owens came out, apologized to Randy Orton. Randy Orton was just like, no, I don't accept your half-hearted apology, and I'm going to kick your head off your shoulders. Basically, that's the sums up. Old Dad's in. Old Dad wants the punt kick, and I just got approved. Old Dad has WrestleMania off, so I will be able to catch all of it. And yeah, I'm excited. Now, just to add to that, I wanted to point this out earlier, but Young Lad had me listen to Ron Killingsley, R-Truth. He had me listen to his new track. It was really good. It's on Twitter. That's something you might want to check out after you watch this. You know, Old Dad here. All right, I'm getting back to it. That was awesome. It was, yes. Yeah, Drew just got him. So it was Damian Priest and Shinsuke Nakamura. No, Damian Priest and Jimmy Uso versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre's, nope, Damian Priest is fighting back. It doesn't matter. You're going up against Drew McIntyre. Come on, man. Stay down. Oh, he is just beating the tar out of him. I mean, he is just laying into him. Okay, so Damian Priest wins the match, but the one that stood out in that match, outside of that beating right there, was Shinsuke Nakamura. And there was some of that kicky stuff and hitty stuff that they normally do. And Claymore, I got my Claymore. There's some of that kicky and hitty stuff that they do. Shinsuke was having no parts of it today. I love that. Old Dad is all about that. Because you're not doing that to Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm sorry. Maybe someone else, but not Shinsuke Nakamura. All right. Let's get back to this. And Drew is standing tall. They just had an interview between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. And Charlotte Flair made a comment. She says, you think you could... Everybody tries to compare to me. And I love that because the only other person that I think of that is like that is Superman in the comic books. No matter if it's Omni-Man, no matter if it's that American guy on Amazon or whatever, no matter who it is, they have someone and they compare him to Superman because that's how it's always been, because Superman is the OP, just like Charlotte is the overpowered female, the overpowered altogether wrestler. That's an old dad opinion. Old dad's a Charlotte Flair fan. I'm a wooing. She says either wooing or booing. I'm the woo guy. Wait, you know what? I can't put that. Let's just leave that in there. It sounded terrible. I know it, but I'm all about Charlotte Flair. Let's just leave that. Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu was off the chain. I loved it. Now, big men ran to the corner. Most of the time it worked out. I ain't going to take too much off of that. But I am going to say that match was great. I don't know. Best match of the night? Probably as far as the match goes, it was the best match of the night. That part with Drew McIntyre just pummeling Damian Priest, that warmed an old dad's heart. I like Damian Priest, don't get me wrong. I just think that Drew McIntyre is so overpowered. I think if it came pure wrestling, Charlotte Flair would win. That's old dad. I'm a fan. What can I say? I'm a Drew McIntyre fan. He's the only one that gets to be on my desk all the time. I'm a Drew McIntyre fan. So don't take that wrong. But that match was great. Solo ended up interrupting it. I went on a huge rabbit trail there. Sorry about that. Solo ended up interrupting. He got disqualified. Jacob Fatu was mad. Jacob Fatu looked mad. And he was like, what are you doing here? But LA Knight came out to save the day. Now, next week, it's going to be Braun versus LA Knight. And old dad wants to see that. So I have no complaints. And I know that was everywhere all at once. Did I think that Braun stood out? I absolutely did. And he stood tall at the end. Old dad's happy. Old dad's very happy. And the next match coming up, Jade Cargill versus Liv Morgan. Old dad wants to see that. No doubt about it. Liv Morgan's so good on the mic anymore. Let's get to this. Zelina Vega versus Piper Niven. That match was kind of slow, but that ending hurt. She did a crossbody to Zelina Vega where she just splat. She just pummeled her. I don't care if she was supposed to get up. She wasn't getting up. That match was good. And I wanted Piper Niven to win. I'm sorry, I did. I want to see it somewhere along the line weave in to where Piper Niven gets a shot against Chelsea Green. I think that would be quite interesting. And maybe Alba Fire could have some little more than what she's doing right now. Because right now, that ain't the greatest. That match was okay. I think Braun wins. That's an old dad opinion. I think out of the two, I don't know. I think that Braun's match was better. I think that match of the night, I don't know. I'm still weighing it out. I can say that the ending of the night still gets Drew McIntyre. But Piper Niven, I mean, she was just so dominating. And there was a couple things that I seen Zelina Vega go for, and I couldn't help but think to myself, if that landed, you're getting hurt. You're lucky she's stopping you. Because if you flipped her around like that and she landed on you in the way, you're just laying there. She's crushing you. That's it. That match was pretty good. Not it would be in the lower tier as far as matches go. But that ending was brutal. I loved it. Let's get back to it. Jade Cargill versus Liv Morgan. Now that went back and forth. That was a pretty good match. I don't get sometimes how little people do headlocks the big people, and the big people don't just pull their arm off. Like, Jade Cargill could have, like, literally ripped her arm off, and yet, I mean, her keeping a hold of her, I get it. Little people fight to the death. But the whole concept of her not being able to power out of that, I just, that part I don't get. Now, the match went back and forth. Naomi, however, looked fantastic. Naomi as a bad guy, that was amazing. That was spectacular. I loved it. Old Dad loved it. And I don't know. It was an interference loss. So Jade Cargill did lose. But how it went, I mean, don't get me wrong. I thought that Jade Cargill was good, but I was waiting, and I was hoping that Liv Morgan would win. And they had this painting up there that was the Liv Elisa. I had to look. I wrote it down. Liv Elisa. And I thought it was fantastic. I'm getting back to it. Street Profits versus Los Garza. That match was off the chain. But here's the thing. 80% of that match was commercials. It was commercials. It started out with commercials. Mid-match, went to commercials. Then we caught the end of the match. That match could have been the best match of the night. I would never know. It was all commercials. Papa John's. If you keep throwing out those kids and showing those kids as your pizza commercial, I'll buy the pizza. But as far as the match went, he did a frog splash. It was, I'm telling you, if he just reached up, he could grab the rafters. That was great. And as far as this, too many commercials. Liv and Jade, they still get the best match of the night. That's what I'm deciding as of right now. But way too many commercials for that match. Come on. Outside of that, I loved it. I don't even know what else to say. It was good. So what did we say? Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk. They're all getting ready to have a big old fight in WrestleMania. They did the interview. It turned out to be a fight. You knew that was how it turned out to be a fight, though. That was the fun part. That was the interesting part, because I thought that it would have been some talky, this, that, the other, then a fight. CM Punk just jumped and nailed him. Now, I do want to do one last recap on this, because here's my... Roman Reigns, they cheered for. And Seth Rollins, they cheered for, I would want to say, a little bit harder. But CM Punk, really hard. None of them compared to Randy Orton. Randy Orton, I'm telling you, he is huge over there. Everybody loves Randy Orton. So, notes-wise, the R-Truth song, the Ron Killingsley, I think is his name, or whatever. But R-Truth, son of a gun.